Hi Dollar Divas, welcome to Behind the Vanity. I'm Jessica. So today is a dupe that look video. So I've done a couple videos where I've duped high-end palettes using Dollar Tree eyeshadow. As I sit here now, I have one where I duped a palette, and then I have another one where I duped a palette and a look. Today I decided just to do a look because sometimes we can't really dupe an entire palette, but we can dupe a million different eye looks. So really my point with this video is not necessarily to save money, because sometimes you might have to use several different shadows or palettes or singles to get a certain look, but the idea is to shop your collection, because often palettes kind of recycle colors, and even though there are subtle differences, and sometimes even in a swatch it can look pretty major, oftentimes on the eye you can't really tell the differences, especially once you put on eyelashes and all that good stuff. And then also too, you know, eyeshadow looks different on all of us, so we can all have the same palette or same eyeshadows, and eyeshadows will all look a little bit different based on our skin tone, the way our eyes and eyelids are shaped, and our eye color. So one side is using the BH Cosmetics It's My Ray Ray palette, which is an affordable palette, but I wanted to see if I could dupe one of my favorite looks with Dollar Tree eyeshadow. So one is Dollar Tree and one is the BH Cosmetics It's My Ray Ray palette. And so I'll give you a little bit of time to guess down below, and let me know if you were able to tell the difference and which side is which. I've also gotten a very similar look using the Urban Decay Stone Vibes palette, and so I will include swatches of the shades I would use in that palette as well. And I also think I may have a picture that I can put up here of a very similar look. I've done this look before with various different brands of eyeshadow, so it's just one of my go-to looks that I've really been enjoying lately. So yes, first of all, if you are new to my channel, welcome. If you enjoy videos like this, as well as all kinds of Dollar Tree oriented content, definitely make sure you hit the subscribe button. I would love for you to become one of my Dollar Divas. And of course, if you are returning, thank you so much for returning. I do hope that you're enjoying these types of videos. I know I certainly am. So yeah, without any further chit chat, let's just go ahead and get into today's video. Okay, so I've got some light makeup on, and we're gonna go in and do this eye look. So the look that I'm gonna create that you saw earlier in the video is kind of a blue, kind of smoky eye. Lately, I've been using the It's My Ray Ray palette for that look, with like these matte browns up here, and also this kind of like brick color, and this beautiful blue right here. That shade is called Sapphire. But I have also done a very similar look with the Urban Decay Stone Vibes palette as well. And so I'll probably swatch and kind of show you the colors you could use to get a similar look with this palette. So I do think the blues that I have from the Dollar Tree dupe this blue a little bit better. But then again, on the eye, you know, that's just in swatches. But you know, you can do a similar look using this blue right here and these browns and all that good stuff. So I will kind of do some swatches there as well, just to kind of show you, because I have gotten this kind of similar look with a couple different palettes and products. So I'm gonna do my right eye with the BH Cosmetics, and I'm gonna do my left eye with Dollar Tree. So I'm gonna go into this shade here. It's called Brick. I actually called it a brick shade and didn't realize that the name was Brick. So I feel very legit at the moment. So I'm just gonna take some of that shade, kind of go in, and I'm gonna kind of put it up into the crease and kind of all over. I kind of like a blue smoky eye where it doesn't really use, like, normally I would do like cooler tones, like a charcoal or a black or something like that to smoke it out. But I really enjoy it with like these kind of rust colors and brown, you know, and I don't know if it's technically what you should do, but I personally really like it, and I've gotten a lot of compliments on this eye look recently, so I just think it's gonna be fun to kind of dupe this look. You know, it's one thing to dupe a palette, and that's fun, but you know, sometimes you just, you know, usually in a palette we only use a couple shades anyway, so sometimes all you need is a couple looks that you can dupe with some less expensive eyeshadows or something that you already have. It doesn't have to even be less expensive. It can just be that you don't want to buy another palette when you have similar shades that can get a similar look, and the eye is so much different than a swatch. So to dupe this shade on the other eye, I'm gonna go into the LA Colors Sunflower Trio. And of course, I'm gonna use this shade right here. This palette kind of always ends up in like all of my duping videos, because these tan shades are just something you see in a lot of palettes. It's in a lot of, you cannot tell the difference. I did clean my brush in between, and you know, and honestly, this is just as pigmented, if not even maybe a little bit more. But yes, you know, swatches, as we've said a million times before, they're not as forgiving as the eye, generally speaking. The eye is a much more forgiving place. I'm gonna blend this out. That's very pigmented. You absolutely cannot tell a difference between these two. I'll go ahead and swatch them just for fun. The swatches might be a little bit different, but see, yeah, this is a perfect example. So the top is the LA Colors and the bottom is the BH Cosmetics. And to swatch them, you would think that they're not similar, but look at them on the eye. You cannot tell. So in the Stone Vibes palette, I would use that shade there and probably that shade there. Like I would layer them both up on the eye. So I'm gonna take a swatch of both of those kind of mixed together and put that on my hand. So as you can see, this look, this base that we have going on can be created with all three. So super cool. So now the next shade we're gonna go into to kind of smoke it out is this shade right here. I think it's pronounced cacao or cocoa or something like that. And I'm just gonna put that kind of on a concentrated brush because I do kind of want a smoky. I'm just gonna smoke out this outer part of my eye. And I'm just gonna take a clean brush and just kind of blend it a bit. We probably will go back in with the shade once we've put the other colors on and kind of make it a little bit more pronounced. I'm gonna clean off my brush. And so now we're gonna go into this LA Colors 6-pan eyeshadow palette. This is in Sunset Break, and we're gonna go into this shade right here and do the same thing. And honestly, you could probably use that shade right there too to dupe that other shade as well if you just wanted to use as few products as possible. And I'm gonna blend this out as well. See, so you really cannot tell so far at all. So now I'm gonna swatch. So of course in the Stone Vibes palette, the shade here, Third Eye, is what I would use. So I'm gonna put that on the top. So on the top is the Urban Decay. In the middle is the BH Cosmetics It's My Ray Ray, and the bottom is the LA Colors palette. So yeah, it's just gonna kind of give you a rich brown. The Urban Decay looks a little bit the most different in the swatch, but really on the eye, it's gonna look the same as well. So now we're gonna get started in with the fun part, and that is the blue shade. So we're gonna go into this blue shade here called Sapphire. I'm going to use a brush kind of like this, and of course I'm going to spray my brush as well. So we're just gonna dip into that color, and we're going to spray. And I'm gonna put this on the inner half. This shade is so pretty. I'm so glad blue eyeshadow is back, and I think the only reason why it ever left was because we didn't know how to handle it in the 80s. You know what I mean? I think now we know how to do it right. And I'm here for it. I live for it. I absolutely love blue eyeshadow. See how pretty that shade is? So I had a couple really good dupes. I had 3 from the Dollar Tree. I have a single from Beauty Benefit. I've got a trio, and I've got a 6-pan eyeshadow palette, and I will swatch them all and show you. Okay, so here are 5 swatches, and on the top is the BH Cosmetics. The second one down is this blue right here. The one right in the middle, the third one down, is this Beauty Benefits in Sapphire Smoke. The fourth one down is the blue right in the middle of this trio. This is the Lotus Trio from LA Colors. And on the very bottom is the shade Ojo from the Stone Vibes palette. It's got a little bit of dimension in it, you know, that's kind of the biggest difference. It's kind of very foiled. But ultimately on the eye, you really wouldn't tell much of a difference. Obviously I could go with any of these and get a very similar effect. And once you add lashes and all that good stuff, it's gonna be very hard to tell. But I think I'm gonna go with the second one down, which is from this palette right here. These 2 things here I see all the time at the Dollar Tree. They're very readily available. These I don't see as much, so we'll just go with one of these. You really can't go wrong with either one. I applied all of these swatches with a wet brush, except for the Stone Vibes, which I did with my finger. Because even though the palette comes with a brush, it actually suggests that a finger is the best way to apply, so, and I agree. Oh yeah, this is beautiful. So there you go. You can see just how beautiful both sides are, and you really can't tell even without eyelashes and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna go back into the browns and kind of pack on a little bit more brown. So of course I'm gonna go into this shade here for my right eye and just pack a little extra brown and kind of blend it into that blue a little bit. And take a clean brush and just blend it. Then, of course, I'm gonna clean off my brush, go back into that shade in the LA Colors palette. I'm gonna add lashes, liner, and I'll be right back and we'll finish up this look. All right, so my lashes are on and we're gonna go ahead and finish up kind of the under eye area and maybe the inner corner, and just gonna kind of see what we can do here. So I'm gonna kind of go underneath, and I'm gonna kind of use a combination between brick and cocoa. Just gonna kind of combine the two, and then just very gently kind of add a little bit of a smoky line. Then I'm gonna clean that same brush off, and I'm gonna go into that shade there and the shade up there on top. So to kind of, for a little light inner corner highlight, I'm gonna mix these two shades right here because I think they will get us a similar effect to this shade right here. So I'm just gonna take a kind of like a precision brush, and I'm gonna first go into this shade, the top shade, which is Shinin'. Then I'm gonna go into the Golden Girl shade, which is that shimmery yellow. I always like to have a little kind of an inner corner highlight, although I didn't really feel that we completely needed it. And I didn't want to go into anything else, so I'm just trying to use what we have to kind of get that effect. And then I'm gonna go into this shade right here. So we didn't really need it too bad, but I just wanted to try it and see. And so I'm gonna swatch all three, and then there's a shade in the Stone Vibes palette. It's actually the prettiest shade. Of course, that palette is just so beautiful. So the top is the BH Cosmetics, those two shades mixed. Then the middle is the LA Colors, and then the bottom is from the Stone Vibes palette. It's called Tiger's Eye. So again, very similar. Not the best inner corner highlight, but I did want to do a little something, even though it's a little unnecessary. So there you go, just another dupe that look type of a video. You know, I might not always be able to dupe an entire palette, but we certainly can dupe a million looks, a million high-end or even just drugstore looks using Dollar Tree makeup. You know, just this look today proves it can be done. This here used the BH Cosmetics, it's my Ray Ray palette, and this look here used Dollar Tree makeup. And I've also done a look just like this using the Urban Decay Stone Vibes palette. And so I hope you enjoyed these swatches and kind of duping this look. And if you see a look, you don't necessarily need to run out and buy the palette to get some look that you see. Often you can create it with eyeshadow that you have. Even if the swatches aren't perfect, give it a try on the eye and you will be surprised at what you come up with. Because eye makeup really looks different on all of us. Even the same palette, the same shades, our eye shape and lid space and all that kind of stuff is gonna make it look a little different anyway. So definitely give it a try, find a look that you love, and if you don't own that palette, see what you have in your collection, because this is proof that it can be done. So I will have my entire Dollar Tree Makeup and Haul playlist linked down below. I have a playlist called I Love a Dupe, and I will have that linked down below as well, so you can binge watch my Dollar Tree oriented videos and other duping videos if this is your type of thing. Again, if you enjoyed this video, show me you did by hitting that like button. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.